I use my personal experience and professional knowledge of violence and juvenile crime to educate the public about the effects and affects of violence. The Ella Foundation is currently at work on the following projects: publication of How Now Butterfly, my memoir on the loss of my children, the coordination of local agencies and nonprofits, much like Chad, to build statewide support for humane treatment of both victims and offenders in an effort to reduce crime and victimization in Texas. And last, but far from least, the development of, in conjunction with the Victim Advocacy and Homicide Divisions of the SAPD, an agency-wide volunteer-based crisis intervention program for the San Antonio Police Department. I call my team the Ellas because there are 4 things someone caught in the cycle of violence needs to stop and overcome the violence in their lives. They need empathy, they need love, they need lessons, and they need to be able to take action. My goal and my mission in life is for the Ella Foundation to one day have the means to open community centers named Ella's Place in actively crime-ridden communities, which will offer support and education to victims of violent crime, no matter which side of a crime scene tape our client has to come across to find us. And this is where I'm going to cry, so bear with me. My son murdered his daughter, his sister, 3 months after his 13th birthday. For that birthday, I had sat down and composed a list that summed up 13 things loving him had taught me. 3 years later, my son turned 16 in the custody of the Texas Youth Commission. I could not bake him a cake. I could not teach him how to drive. I could not throw him a party. I could not take him to get a driver's license. And I could not sit and marvel over what an impressive man my child was growing to be. So instead, I sat down and I added 3 more things to his list and mailed it to him. I'd like to share that list with you now. To my beloved son on his 13th birthday, 13 things that loving you has taught me. Live in the here and now. The past cannot be changed, and the future is yours for the creating. Live without limits, but set boundaries. Love boldly, yet carefully. Be mindful of others' dreams and aspirations. Offer support and encouragement often. Know your limits. Trust your instincts. Do not be afraid to draw lines in the sand. Follow your yellow brick road. It always knows where you want to be. Stop and listen to the silence occasionally to remind yourself that things are not ever as they seem. Trust until given a reason not to. Help until you are being taken advantage of. Hold no regrets. Life is too short, and you are the sum of all of your experiences, both good and bad. Never be afraid to admit your mistakes or apologize for them. You will be a better man than most because of it. Try not to let the actions of a few jade your opinion of all. Good manners will take you farther than any amount of money or talent. And 13, when all else fails, remind yourself, Paris, that this is your life and you have to live it the way you feel is best. To my beloved son on his 16th birthday, it has been a long, hard trip getting here. but I would not change it. What is. You still teach me so much about love. So here are 3 more for your list. Always, always let love be your guide and light at the end of your tunnel. As long as you keep breathing, you can survive anything. Even if you quit, you survive everything anyway. And no matter who you are, no matter what you've done, no matter what you may do, I always have, and I always will, love you to the stars and back. My name is Charity, and my name means love. I believe in love, and I believe in charity. And I believe if we all do our best to live with a little more love and charity, we can stop the violence. Thank you for allowing me to speak today.
Thank you, Charity, for sharing that with us. I know it's really, really hard and difficult.
Thank you.
Amen. Awesome. You know, it's you were actually privileged in more, you know, areas and financial and everything, and the 2 most important things were taken from you. What's your feeling on that? I mean, you always tell me about, you know, when I say, man, I wish I had some more money, you know, and you always tell me that it's not about the money, it's about the love. And I mean, if you can go in deeper than that.
Well, I mean,
it's pretty simple, but
yeah, I was about to say, it's pretty simple. I mean, you got to focus on what's important in your life, and it's not, like I said, it's not what you drive, it's not where you live, it's not what you can and can't buy. You should measure your success by the amount of love you have in your life.
The first time I met Ella, she was chasing me around a tree at my birthday party, as a matter of fact. And you know, that's still it's residual. And so is this foundation a residual of her?
I personally believe that Ella has a direct access to some... Ella was amazing. A lot of you in here actually knew Ella. Some of you that I have are in here, you actually knew Ella. And that woman owned a room. There was not anybody that Ella did not love. And I believe that she actually is the one who inspires me. I try to act very much like my 4-year-old daughter would, in always, even in my juvenile behavior. Love, love, love. Ella loved everybody. It didn't matter. She would walk into a room and she would say, I am Ella and I want to hug, or she was amazing. The girl didn't have a bad bone in her body. And a lot of times people will, you know, make the dead seem to be like superheroes, but Ella actually was an amazing, loving child.
You've been in the unique position to actually be on both sides of the rope, so to say, and you know, this is difficult for me to ask these questions to you, being a friend and all.
Ask away. I'm an open book.
I mean, did you have any... I know you say that love, 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 but did you have anything against Paris at first, or...
Yes, I mean, I don't don't go out and advocate that you walk around and you're always happy, go lucky, oh, I love you no matter what you've done. I mean, it's possible to feel rage and anger and disappointment and confusion and all of that. I guess what I mean is, don't let that be what guides your decision-making process, or or how you make your decisions, and don't let those feelings be the ones that you act upon. Let love be your guide. Take those feelings, do something with them, find a good therapist, find a good friend, pray, whatever it takes for you, because you're going to feel them. I mean, you wouldn't be human if you didn't feel them. But don't let that be what dictates your path.
You know, I find it very impressive how you are an advocate for both sides of the rope as well.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, you wanted to shake up the justice system, and I know that you and I both experienced the justice system. And what are some of the changes you feel that can be made on a fast track?
Well, in the criminal justice world, there is no such thing as a fast track. That would be one thing I would change. You know, the Constitution says you have the right to a fair and speedy trial. That doesn't happen that often. But mostly when I'm talking about the work that I do with offenders is to... Let me see how to put this. They're human beings first, you know. Every offender, you know, was somebody's son or somebody's daughter. They were somebody's baby. They're somebody's loved one. You know, there are people that care about them. And they, just as a human being, they have an intrinsic value in the fact that obviously, you know, the powers that be believed that that person was worthy of being born, and so they're worthy. They have a soul, and they're a human being. And there's a lot of factors that go into why somebody commits a crime. And I do not advocate, as some of my distractors seem to think, I do not advocate for, you know, full-scale release of everybody and all of this. There are people who do not know how to operate in society, and they have done things where they should probably not be in society for a bit. But when we take a person like my son and we put him in a prison cell and we deny them human contact and we treat them worse than we would treat our dogs, and then we expect them to get out of prison and all of a sudden become a productive member of society, well, that just makes no sense logically. And then, you know, a lot of people like to take this moral high ground that, oh, well, they did something horrible. And yeah, they did something horrible. But when you begin to treat them horribly, well, then who's doing something horrible now? You. And where's your moral high ground? There is none. The whole criminal justice system, in my opinion, needs to be completely revamped. It's about punishment. It's about racism. It's about poverty. And there are a lot of people in prison who would be better served in rehab or with job training or with a better education. And in my opinion, prison should be only for violent offenders and sex offenders.
Well, Charity, our time is going to be wrapped up right now, but can you tell everybody how to be a part of the Ella Foundation? And
you can just grab a pamphlet. There's a Facebook page. There's a phone number on there, which I probably shouldn't say this, but you'll actually get me if you call the phone number. There's a website in the works. My web designer kind of fell by the wayside for a couple of reasons. And just, you know, if you go to Facebook or you do Google every now and then, eventually you're going to be seeing the Ella Foundation all over the place. So.
Well, thank you very much, Charity.
And then read the book. Read the book.
Thank you very much, Charity. God bless.
Thank you.